The Spartans, legends of the battlefield separating fact from fiction. For centuries, the Spartans have been romanticized as the ultimate warriors, men of iron discipline, unwavering bravery and unmatched martial skill. Tales of their heroism, especially the legendary Battle of Thermopylae, have inspired books, movies and even modern military training. But how much of this is fact and how much is myth? The reality of Spartan training. The most famous aspect of Spartan life was the agoge, a brutal training system that began when boys were just 7 years old. Unlike the exaggerated depictions in pop culture, Spartans were not superhuman warriors, but rather highly disciplined soldiers honed through years of hardship. They were trained in combat, survival and endurance, often forced to steal food to learn cunning. Those who failed were cast aside, ensuring that only the strongest survived. However, the idea that Spartans were constantly at war is misleading. Sparta's military dominance was built on the labor of the helots, a subjugated people who worked the land while the Spartan elite trained for battle. To maintain control, Spartans waged annual terror campaigns against the helots, killing any who seemed too strong or rebellious. This dark side of Spartan society is often overlooked in mainstream portrayals. The myth of the 300. Perhaps the most famous Spartan legend is the Battle of Thermopylae, where King Leonidas and his 300 Spartans faced the massive Persian army. While the story is often told as an example of Spartan heroism, the truth is more complex. In reality, the Spartans were not alone. Around 7,000 Greek allies fought alongside them. When the battle turned against them, Leonidas ordered most of the Greeks to retreat, staying behind with his Spartans and about 1,000 other troops, including Thespians and Thebans. Their last stand was courageous, but not as solitary as often depicted. Spartan weaknesses. While feared in battle, the Spartans had limitations. Their rigid society resisted change, and their obsession with military perfection left them culturally and economically stagnant. Unlike Athens, which flourished with philosophy, art and democracy, Sparta had little interest in intellectual pursuits. This ultimately contributed to their downfall. By the 4th century BCE, Sparta's military power declined after their defeat at the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BCE. Their refusal to adapt to new strategies and their dwindling population led to their eventual irrelevance in Greek politics. The legacy of Sparta. Though their empire faded, the Spartan legend endures. Their discipline and battlefield tactics continue to be studied in military history, and their story remains a symbol of courage and sacrifice. But the reality of Sparta was far more complex than the myths suggest. A society built on extreme discipline, but also on oppression and inflexibility. So, were the Spartans truly the greatest warriors in history? Perhaps. But their legacy, like all great legends, is a mixture of truth and fiction, shaped by time, storytellers, and the never-ending human fascination with the art of war.